Today on the Dennis Michael Lynch Show, we're going to talk about Islam in New York, and everywhere now it's going in hyper speed levels. We've also got a new warning about AI. Ma'am Danny wants you to have 2 forms of ID in order to be able to shovel snow. Cartels are burning down Mexico, and the U.S. wins gold, but with controversy to boot. Kash Patel. Get ready, we've got a great show for you, and it's all unfiltered.
Dennis Michael Lynch gives you his word, and he will never let you down. He will always fight for America.
The only one who really puts his money where his mouth is Dennis Michael Lynch.
Hello, I'm Dennis Michael Lynch, and I thank you for joining me today. I want to say thank you for having us back. Last week was a rough one. The whole entire family going through what was the worst sinus infection I think I've ever had in my life. Still have the remnants of it, so as you see me sit here and always touch my nose, it's because I still have it. Thank you for bearing with us while we get our stuff together. Also, you may notice we are in a new office space, and we've kind of just quieted everything down, and we're hoping that this will help us with a lot of the internet connectivity issues that we've had over the course of time. So that's that, and we hope that you will hit the share button, because if you share, you care. So, is voter ID really something that's racist? That's the question we address in the DML report. Voter ID. For decades and decades, the left has told us, can't do that. Can't ask people to go out and get an ID to vote. That's racist. What are the black people going to do? What are the Latinos going to do? What are the women going to do? This is unfair to minorities. And every time I've heard that, I've always thought to myself, you know, the person saying that is the racist. When you're saying that a black person can't get up and go get themselves a license, can't get themselves an ID of some case, I mean, you're talking about these people being at the mongoloid level. Think about how easy it is to go get yourself a picture ID. Well, what about the cost? Well, what about the cost? What about if I gave it to you for free? Nope, still not good enough. No matter what you say to the left, no matter what free program, no matter how easy you make it for the left, they never, ever, ever will agree to voter ID. We know why. We know why. There are plenty of reports and evidence that backs that these elections we hold are tainted. Sometimes it's worse than others. Sometimes it is so obvious of what is taking place in terms of the fraud that you look around and you say, does anybody care about this other than me? We all scream about it. We all yell about it, but then we all move on. You get something like the SAVE Act, Save America Act. Hey, we want to make it so this way you've got an ID. You need to have ID in order to vote. And what winds up happening? All the Democrats say no. Even a few Republicans, like Murkowski up in Alaska. Oh no, we can't do this. Too difficult. But yet, the Democrats will push for more welfare. Well, if you can operate a cash account, if you can operate a checking account, if you could deposit a check, if you could use a credit card, if you could use an EDP card, why can't you get yourself an ID for vote? Of course you can. Something happened over the weekend, which I hope that Pam Bondi will use every single time that a lawsuit comes up, when she says we are going to demand you have voter ID. Because if we can't get the thing passed, Trump's going to make an executive order. And the lawsuits are going to come wild. And everybody is going to use the same old stories that it's racist, it's impossible to do, and it's unnecessary. What Pam Bondi should do is say, hit the play button. We start off with a video of Ma'am Danny talking about the snowstorm that's hitting New York and that he needs people to shovel.
Utilizing 33 DSNY vans and 2 DSNY buses to transport shovelers where they're needed faster. And for those who want to do more to help your neighbors and earn some extra cash, you too can become an emergency snow shoveler. Just show up at your local sanitation garage between 8 a.m. and 1 p.m. tomorrow with your paperwork, which is accessible online at nyc.gov/snow, and you can get started right away.
So understand this. Because Ma'am Danny was such an epic failure in the first snowstorm, with snow piled up, garbage piled up for weeks, nothing done correctly. The city looks like a complete hellhole. Now, he figures we're going to need people to shovel. So we're going to pay people $20 an hour. You could come and shovel for us. But in order to be able to get that job, you need to have 2 forms of ID, 2 pictures of yourself, and a social security card. Now, I don't know about you. I got my social security number, but I haven't seen my social security card since I'm like 10 years old. Wait a second. All of a sudden now, in order to be able to get a job shoveling snow, I mean, come on. You can't do this without 2 forms of ID. Who do you think is showing up to do this with the snow? Who do you think's going to go shovel? Do you think you're going to have guys from Wall Street? Do you think you're going to have like the top dude at Merrill Lynch being like, "Hey, I'm here with my ID, ready to shovel"? Do you think you're going to wind up having the mom with 4 kids at home, the one that you want to tax to death, Ma'am Danny? Do you think she's going to come in her nice little pink skirt and say, "I'm here to shovel the snow"? No. You know who's going to go to shovel the snow for the $20 an hour? The minorities. The minority is going to show up and they're going to show ID. They're going to wind up showing the Social Security card. People who have lost their jobs are going to come because they're going to need freaking money. They got no money. They're like, "Hey, I'll shovel snow. I'll do whatever I can." The young kids who are in college, the young kids who are in high school, they're the ones who are going to show up and they're going to be able to show ID so they can shovel the snow. Thousands of people shoveling the snow, showing ID. But when it comes to voting, these same people can't do it. They just can't do it. Folks, Pam Bondi, President Trump, and every Republican, you were just given gold. Ma'am Danny, Slumdog Ma'am Danny, gave you gold. This video, this example, this is basically mandatory e-verify that I talk about all the time. This is verifying that the person that you are hiring is capable of working legally in the United States of America. Even something as simple as shoveling snow. Now, there's no national security risks to shoveling snow. It's not like you can say, "Well, come on, this is a contractor. He's going to work for, building missiles and bombs for the U.S. military." No. This is shoveling snow. This is as low as a low job can go, shoveling snow. All you need is a strong back. You don't even need to speak English, but you gotta have 2, not 1, 2 forms of ID. So to answer the question, it's not racist to want voter ID. It's not stupid to want voter ID. And it certainly isn't difficult to enforce voter ID. It is a Democrat strategy to make sure that they win elections so this way they can cheat. Anybody who doesn't see it is so stupid you wouldn't even know how to shovel snow. And that's that. Now, going from cold to hot, I'm going to play for you right now a video of a man named, what's his name? Mr. Dix? What's his name? Yes, Dan Dix. Dan Dix is reporting from Mexico, which right now is completely under fire. Take a listen.
This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth, coming at you here live in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Just had the military driving past me, and as I understand it, I should not be around anywhere where the police or the military are, because they are the target right now. As you can see, this whole place is like deserted right now because there's burning cars back there, burning cars right here still smoldering, and the situation is incredibly intense. As I'm sure you've already heard, there was a top drug lord cartel member, El Mencho, who has been killed. I believe there was a $15 million bounty on this man's head, and he is now dead, and that has caused this whole situation to pop off. The place looks like an absolute war zone right now, folks. Cartel has been setting up blockades in the streets, stopping cars. A whole bus was set on fire. You've got cartel members who literally look like the military. These guys are serious. These guys mean business. Costco was set on fire. A hospital was under attack. People running for their lives. There was the Guadalajara airport that was under attack. People literally running all over the place, screaming and crying. The Puerto Vallarta airport as well has had a big scare. A lot of people were evacuated on the tarmac. Had to run out on the runway to get away from the intense situation. And it seems like it's not about to slow down anytime soon. As I understand it, the cartel have announced that they are going to be entering private homes and potentially hotel resorts at 5 p.m. Our time if their demands are not met. So this thing could be just the beginning of what we're seeing here. I mean, the situation is so intense. I've been doing reports from my resort where there was just smoke surrounding all over the place, cars being lit on fire everywhere.
You know, a few things you need to know about the cartels in Mexico. First of all, there are 6 major cartels in Mexico. And between them all, this number is staggering. They kill 22,000 people a year. And that's not including the drug overdoses here in the United States, which could be, in many cases, attributed back to them. Just the violence of the cartels, 22,000 people a year. And when you take the total revenue for all the cartels, it is crazy how much money these people make. 45 billion with a B. $45 billion is what the cartels generate in revenue every year. The majority, between 19 and 30 billion, is coming from the drugs they sell to the United States. The rest of it is extortion, human smuggling, human trafficking. You know, I have always and forever said, why don't we just take these cartel out? Now, we're going to play some B-roll here. Ryan's going to show you some B-roll. When you look at the cartel, I mean, these aren't just the Al Pacino type guys running around who look like, crazy Mexicans. These people are well-trained operatives. When you've got the amount of money that they've got, their weaponry is incredible. They're highly trained. They can survive in the desert at days on end. They are not a joke. They are a military in of itself. They are Mexico. They are Mexico. And it's amazing. It's amazing how stupid the United States is. Every single president since I have been born has always got up there on the podium when he's running for president and says, I will lead the war on drugs. We will win the war on drugs. I mean, then they'll take it a step further. we're going to take out the cartel. And then the minute that they get into office, nothing ever happens. It's happened with every single president, Democrat or Republican, even Trump. Trump said, I'm going to take out the cartels. We're going to take out the cartels. The cartels haven't been taken out. Now, why is that? I'm not privy to the information. I have my theory on why that is, and I'm going to share that with you. But ultimately, whenever I've asked somebody, whether that person's at DHS or they're connected to the media or they're connected to the military, they always come back and say, well, we couldn't do that because if we did that, Mexico, our neighbor, would deem that as an act of war. What? An act of war? How the hell are you going to say that it's an act of war? The cartel carries out an act of war on the United States every single day. They allow people in through the border. They collect money from them. They rape women. They rape young kids. They drug our entire nation. They're located in every single city from coast to coast, north to south. I remember a few years ago, I wish we had this. Take a look for it. See if you could find, there was a map that showed the cartel presence in the United States. It goes back years ago. There's red dots all over it. Just do a search, see if you can find it. And if we find it, Ryan will toss it up here. They are everywhere, everywhere. And we do nothing about it. Trump hasn't taken out the cartels. We're not taking them out. I mean, the president of Mexico, and it doesn't matter who the president is. You could switch it from that crazy woman they got in now to the freaking old dude that they had before that to Fox. It doesn't matter which one. They'll all say the same thing. We don't need America's help with the cartels. Well, I don't know. Ryan's playing some B-roll here. Place is on fire right now. You're telling me? I mean, look at this. Look at this scene. You're telling me you don't need the U.S.? What's the Mexican military doing about this? What's the Mexican government doing about this? They can't do anything. The reason why they can't do anything is because the cartel runs those people. All those people are, all the president of Mexico is a figurehead. That president speaks on behalf of the cartel. So when the president says, I do not want America's help, stay out, we do not need it, that's not the truth. That's them trying to stay alive. Everybody knows it. Everybody sees it. I don't understand why we don't take our sophisticated military. Look what we did in Iran. Well, how long were we even there? A couple of hours? Iran's nuke facilities, most of them, all destroyed. Look what we did with Maduro. Got him out in the middle of the night. Boom, boom. Took him right out. You're telling me our next door neighbor, which makes it even easier, all the assets that we have that we could be launching from every different state, from Florida to California, going up into Kansas and Nebraska, you take a look at all the apparatus we have, we can't go take out 6 cartels? You got to be kidding me. We're just letting 22,000 people a year die. We have another 100,000 here in the U.S. dying on drugs, and we do nothing about it. Now, you can speculate that what you're hearing on television is true, that we do not want to make our neighbor feel like we are invading their country, even though they invade ours every single day. I mean, did they ever think about how they were invading our country when they just leave the borders wide open and they just keep on pushing the people through into our country? And by the way, the whole idea that our border is secure right now, that's bullshit. We have people coming through the border each and every day. I guarantee you it. I've been doing this for 20 years. There are people who are paying an exorbitant amount of money to the cartels, way beyond $5,000, and they are told, yes, you will get into the U.S., safe passage, no problem whatsoever. If you think that nobody's coming in through that border, you are a fool. You know how you can tell whether or not the border is really secure? when the complaints start going up that the price of street drugs have doubled because of supply and demand, and that hasn't happened. Here's what I think happens when a new president comes in. I'll pretend I'm Trump. I think Trump walks in, says, Pete, get me all the top brass from the Pentagon. Bring them in. We'll have a nice little lunch. I want to talk to these guys about Mexico. And I think you got the Army and the Navy and the Air Force and the Marines. You even got the Coast Guard. You're probably bringing in the National Guard. Everybody's sitting there. Pete's there. The heads are all there. All the brass, all the metals are all over the place. And Trump stands up and says, all right, listen, I'm going to be 80 years old. And my entire life, there's been one problem we've never solved, and it's the cartels. And I can't understand how we're letting these little tiny runts take over the place. I want them dead. I want them all out. Now, at that point, I got like my own little movie setting on this. I don't know whether or not somebody just says, I'm going to need a little time with the president alone. Could we clear the room, please? Or if it is a concerted effort, that I don't know. But whether it's the individual who tells Trump or it's the collective, here's how I think it works. Mr. President, we agree with you 100%. We understand where you're at. You're not the first president to feel that way. However, there's something you need to know. The cartels are operating in every single last city and town in the United States of America. And we sort of have like a gentleman's handshake, if you will, an unwritten law that for as long as they do not kill American citizens, like literally kill, shoot, stab, kidnap, we will allow their operations to continue. Trump's like, what? What are you talking about? They're killing us with the drugs. Well, Mr. President, at the end of the day, you know, it is the individual who makes the decision to use drugs. Trump's like, I don't want to hear this. Enough. And then that's when they say, okay, we got to tell him. Mr. President, it goes a little deeper than that. Because we've let the border stay open for so long, and because the cartels have, you know, the money that they do and the resources that they do, you know, these aren't just little guys running around with AR-16s. They have military-style grade arsenals. We also believe that they have numerous dirty bombs at the ready here in the U.S. And if we get in their face, if we try to take them out, if we make it to where we eviscerate them at home in Mexico, we have to understand we're not getting them all. The head of the snake is here in the United States. And so they will take out one of our cities and we won't know which one it is, but that's how they'll retaliate. What? What are you saying to me? Yes, sir. We know for certain that they have dirty bombs and that they will light them off and we will lose an incredible amount of Americans and this will go into full-blown war. And there will be nothing. They are here. They have infiltrated. They are in the United States. And we do not know how it is that we would stop it from happening. That is why what goes on every single day in Mexico goes on. There's no other explanation for it. Because somebody who is as determined, who is as passionate about cleaning up America as Trump, the fact that he doesn't even do it, the fact that Reagan didn't do it, leads me to believe that the answer is much greater than you and I are ever going to be told. And that's that. That is that. Speaking of which, you know, in 2016, the big thing was the border. That was the topic, illegal immigration and the border. That's going to change real soon. In 2028, there are going to be two things that we're going to have to worry about. I'm going to talk about AI in a little bit. But the other problem we have, and it is growing like wildfire, and this show covers it all the time, is we're going to be talking about Islam spreading in America. I'm going to start off with a video here. This is a Somali from Minnesota demanding reparations for ICE being in Minnesota, trying to keep Minnesotans safe. Take a listen to this if you could understand what the hell this freak is saying.
Lead programs fits into our criteria of small business owners, not those who make 200,000 and above. We don't make that much amount. We have been suffering since the crisis of ICE. We also demand an immediate help to evictions so families are not pushed to homelessness during the crisis. Our community deserves accountability. Our community deserves safety. We need also justice for those who lost their lives defending the community.
So she wants reparations. You know, nobody, where is the conversation today about Minnesota fraud? Where did it all go? Did we all forget about the billions upon billions upon billions of dollars that was stolen from us, that continues to be stolen from us? We pulled ICE out, and what did they do? They started pounding their chest in Minnesota that they won, that they declared victory. What is going on here? Do you hear anybody talking about that? Nothing. Nobody in the United States is talking about any of the major problems we have. Let's not forget, we're all positioning this as welfare fraud. No, this is Muslim fraud. The Somali Muslim community was leading with the support of freaking scumbag politicians. They were leading the fraud, taking that money, lining their pockets. Ilhan Omar becoming worth $30 million after she was freaking thousands of dollars in debt just a few years ago. We're sending money over to Somalia. We're funding all the freaking terrorists you can possibly imagine. And we're going to call this daycare fraud. No, it's not daycare fraud. It's Somali Muslim fraud. And they are spreading everywhere. They are like a stage 4 cancer. I had a phone call. Over the weekend. I can't share the phone call, the person who it was, but we were talking deeply about the Islam problem. And I'm telling you, in Florida, we're probably going to wind up with Byron Donalds as our governor in Florida. And it is going to be a shit show because that guy is far from being ready to lead anything, let alone a state as important as frickin' Florida. He is proficient in his little tiny 3-minute Fox News hits. He could hit all the bullet points. He could do the big, huge smile. But when it really comes down to the nitty gritty, he's clueless. And if we lose Florida, this freaking country's done. And let me tell you what the biggest problem facing Byron Donalds is going to be in this state. It is going to be trying to keep Florida from turning into Texas, from turning into New York City, from turning into Dearborn. What I see happening in the Muslim world, especially here in the United States, you got to give these people credit. They're going after the toughest spots first, and then it gets easier after that. It's like when you make yourself a list, right? You got 10 things to do. Some people say, "Oh, let me get the easy stuff out of the way." And the problem is you leave the hard one for the end and you don't get it done. If you flip it the other way and you do the hard things first, well, then the easy things, you get it all finished. That's the way the Muslim takeover is happening. Let's take over the biggest city in New York City, and let's go tackle the 2 biggest conservative states in Texas and Florida. Islam right now in Florida is growing wild. And if you want to see what Florida is going to look like under Byron Donalds, I take you to New York. In New York, just start with the B-roll, Ryan. In New York, they are literally praying in the middle of the streets. They don't do this back in the Middle East. They don't take over streets in the Middle East. and just start praying in the middle of the street? What would happen if all of a sudden we decided we wanted to start having Sunday Mass in the middle of the street? All Christians, all Catholics, get out there, start doing the Masses in the middle of the street. It would never happen. They wouldn't allow it to happen. But we're allowing this to take place. We're allowing them to take over, and they know it. Here's another video from New York City. Watch.
Giving that. Yo, make some noise from the mother water right now, baby. MashaAllah, yeah. Takbir! Oh, don't scare them, brothers. Relax. They're over here on purpose to be like, oh my God. Who's seen those videos where they're like, oh my God, the Muslims are taking over New York City? You seen those? You seen those? Let them know that we are taking over New York City. Takbir! Oh my God.
And let me tell you something. We are starting to fall in line. I'm blown away by the videos I'm seeing, not just from the Muslims. I expect that out of them. I mean, I'll tell you what, I give them an A for effort. They ain't quitting. But let's be honest, okay? This is like the Super Bowl champions going up against the JV high school team. It ain't a real big effort when you don't got anybody pushing back against you. Nobody's pushing back against the freaking Islam movement in this country. A very few, little small handful independent players. I'll be one of them. We don't got what it takes to take that down by ourselves. You need the U.S. government behind you. I take you to New York. We stay in New York. There's a guy, a Republican named Blakeman. He's running for governor against Kathy Hochul on Ash Wednesday. He got on Twitter or X and put up a video. He didn't say, I want to wish everybody, the next 40 days for Lent. I want, the most safest, joyous time. He didn't say anything. Did you go out and get your ashes today? He didn't say anything. What he did was he spoke to the Muslims and said, God bless all of you who are now celebrating Ramadan. Play.
Hey, everybody. If you're celebrating Ramadan, I want to wish you a happy and healthy holiday for you and your family. Ramadan Mubarak. God bless you all, and God bless America.
We are formatting our lives as if it is a foregone conclusion that the takeover is done, that we've lost. It's only the second inning of a 9-inning game, but we're down so many runs, might as well just let them do what they're going to do. This was part of the conversation I had this weekend in saying that that's what's happening. Blakeman's a perfect example. Well, if I'm going to win votes, I better say happy Ramadan instead of my base who feels alienated. I'll take you to Texas. Texas is an absolute trash can at this point. Just think about something so American like buffalo chicken wings. Now the restaurants are promoting that they're making them in halal.
Attention, Dallas, this is not a drill. For the first time in Texas, we've got a Buffalo Wild Wings offering Zabiha Halal options. Right now, the Buffalo Wild Wings in Richardson is serving Zabiha Halal hand-cut wings, prepared separately, fried separately, and free from cross-contamination. And yes, you can choose from any of their sauces. This is a huge moment. If you've been waiting to enjoy wings that are Zabiha hand-slaughtered and HMS certified, this is it.
So I took you to New York. I took you to Texas. Now I'll take you to California. California used to be known for just liberals and surfing, right? Liberals and surfing and Hollyweirds. If I were in a public school and I were to say to my friends, let's get up and pray, you're not allowed to do it. Well, in California, we've got them actually, I don't even know what this is. Play it.
الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
I'd show you the video from Philadelphia, what they're doing inside the Philadelphia schools, but we're going to run out of time. You go to my x.com/trustdml. It's right there towards the top. You'll see the violence that's being taught in some of the private schools in Philadelphia that are Muslim only. It is very scary, very scary. But now, you look at, the new thing on Instagram and Facebook and X and YouTube, everybody's doing what I started doing years ago, the walk and talks, the car and talks. Everybody's got their little selfie talks. Everybody's doing it. I don't think anybody does it as good as I did. But listen to this girl talk to you about dogs. That's the new thing. Dogs, because in the Islamic religion, dogs are dirty and they are unworthy of being house pets.
Do you know that having dogs in your home without any valid reason causes you to lose huge amounts of rewards daily and also keeps angels away from your home? Prophet Muhammad ﷺ warns us about this in an authentic hadith, saying, whoever keeps a dog, except for herding, hunting, or farming, will have 2 qirats of good deeds deducted every day. And it is said that a qirat is equivalent to a huge mountain. So if you're losing 2 qirats, that means you're losing 2 mountains daily. And it gets worse. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ also said that no angel will enter a home with a dog inside. Imagine your home where you pray, make dua, and seek blessings. Angels stay away from because of a dog. Islam teaches us to be kind to animals, but also follow guidance. So if you or anybody that you know owns a dog without any valid reason, think twice. Share this so others can learn.
So, I go back to the conversation I had about how the border was 2016. Now it's going to be about Islam. It's going to be the person, the candidate who's going to be able to say whether it's in a state or whether it's on a national level. I can tell you right now that the Trump administration is doing very little to stop any of this. And I voted for the guy 3 times. J.D. Vance is going to have to carry this. Unless they do something real soon, J.D. Vance is going to have to carry this. And I don't know how he's going to justify what it is that the Trump administration is turning a blind eye to right now. I have no idea what it is. We are losing our country to Islam. I am telling you, it is happening as fast as AI, and we'll cover AI in a second. But before we get there, I hate for everything to be gloom and doom all the time. And so you'd think that I can sit here and celebrate with you. Hey, the U.S. hockey team won the gold. You remember the Miracle on Ice? Boy, it felt a lot like that, right? Don't you remember when Justin Trudeau put out a tweet saying that America, you'll never be able to take away our sport because the Canadians own hockey? Well, over the weekend, the U.S. beat the Canadians for the gold in the Olympics. I mean, how great was that? And what really makes it great is the fact that the Olympics started off with a bunch of these spoiled brats. We covered it on this show. Spoiled brats saying about how it is that they were embarrassed to be fighting for America right now because ICE was in the streets trying to protect their asses from illegal aliens. But no, we just can't sit here and celebrate. Nope. Left always has to destroy something. I'm going to play a video of you right now. It's of your FBI director, Kash Patel, who was invited into the locker room by the U.S. players on the hockey team. He was invited in to be with them to celebrate, and that's exactly what he did. Play. I did my morning video on this. The left is so up in arms about what happened, about how it is that Kash Patel was celebrating on the U.S. taxpayers' dime and that he was sitting there slugging down a beer in celebration. First of all, let's remind everybody that Kash Patel, like the rest of us, is a human being. He has emotions. He's going to get happy. He's going to get sad. He's going to celebrate. He's going to mourn. He bleeds just like you and I. So if you and I could stand up and cheer when we beat the Russians or when we beat the Canadians, he's not allowed to? This is crazy. It's like the people who were blaming the sheriff down in Tucson because he took a night off to go see a basketball game instead of searching for the Today Show missing mommy, Miss Guthrie. The guy celebrated. He got invited in, and he got caught up in the moment like any one of us would have. What a great celebration. But the left, what are they saying? Number one, totally unprofessional that the FBI director is there slugging down a beer while Miss Guthrie is missing somewhere. Let me tell you something. Miss Guthrie at this point, I hate to say it, I don't think she's missing anymore. I think she's been taken permanently, which is horrible. But you're going to, everything this man does, you're going to bring it back to, why aren't you searching for Miss Guthrie? He's celebrating, and then it's going to be like, oh, why don't you, more Epstein files, more Epstein files. The obsession from the left is insane. Then it's, we paid for this? We're paying for him to celebrate a victory by the United States? Let me remind everybody a few things that maybe are kind of significant just in comparison. Michelle Obama and her two daughters took an international trip while Barack Obama was the president. I believe it was 2011. And they decided that they were going to do a safari for the day. And Barack Obama swears that the safari was paid for by the Obama family, that you as taxpayer didn't pay any of it. But yet there had to be military airplane situated there for them. They had to take the security. $450,000 it cost for Michelle and her two daughters to ride on elephants and look at the orangutans in the jungle. $450,000. Nobody complained on the left then. No. And then 2 years later, Barack's like, hey, I think you had fun in Africa. Why don't we go to South Africa, Tanzania, and Senegal? And we're going to go, and it's really, we're going to pawn it off as a goodwill trip, but and I know it's a vacation. What the hell else would we be doing in Tanzania, of all places? $60 to $100 million was the estimated cost of that. The left didn't complain one bit. Nope. Or what about, well, that unprofessionalism of Kash Patel downing the beer? Are you kidding me? Barack Obama used the White House as a nightclub. Do you remember his goodbye party? Jay-Z, Beyonce, George Clooney, all the Hollyweirds were there partying in the White House until 4 a.m. in drunken stupors. And you're going to get on Kash Patel for slugging down a beer with the hockey team? Well, now you're comparing the president to the FBI. All right, I'll stay in the lane. Let's take a look. The FBI is part of the DOJ. Why don't we go back to Eric Holder when Eric Holder was the AG? Do you see Pam Bondi running guns to the Mexican cartel? Eric Holder ran guns with Barack Obama to the Mexican cartel. Those guns were used to kill people, and one agent of the Border Patrol named Brian Terry. Could you imagine if that happened under Pam Bondi, Donald J. Trump, and Kash Patel? These people are getting all out of control that he had a freaking beer celebrating the U.S. winning the gold. It's insane what these leftists are all about. Insane. You can't fix that, by the way. So I will give you something that is a good thing before we go into AI. How many times have we seen these spoiled athletes get up there and slam America? If there's one clip I'm proud to play today, it's this one.
And we're the gold medalists, so I'm so happy that USA Hockey's on top.
You not only have that as a reminder, you got that as a reminder too. Did that just show about this game?
Just I'm lucky I'm from the best country in the world, and we got great dentists there too. So I'm lucky I'm American, and they're gonna fix me right up.
Standing there listening to the anthem, what's going through your head?
Just so proud. I'm so proud to be American. I'm so proud of this group. I'm so happy that we could win. You know, we have so many people here supporting us. We have so many people back home supporting us, and you know, we're so thrilled with how this whole tournament played out, and you know, just an unbelievable moment for you.
We're going to change focus here for a second about something that I think is more important than almost anything else we spoke about here today. When you look at AI and you just see it from a very high end, you say, oh, all right, it's a cool technology. It's the next iteration of the internet. And that is the furthest thing from the truth. In fact, I saw a message on Facebook over the weekend that said an AI expert was on TV and was saying that the fears over AI is totally overblown, that it is going to make society such a better place. And I am telling you, that person is a complete idiot. The job market is basically what makes this country tick in many different ways. First of all, you need to have a job in order to have money. And if you're on Social Security, the person who has a job today is basically paying into that Social Security. And then when you just look from the standpoint of having self-worth, getting up every day, going somewhere, having a purpose, having an accomplishment to tackle, then going home, kicking your feet up and saying, that was a hard day's work, or I made myself some good money today, or that sucks, I got to find myself a better job because I want to be more happy at what I do. I need to make more money. You may recall somebody said, it's the economy, stupid. Well, what do you think the economy is? It's the job market. If you take away the job market, you don't have an economy. This is not hard for any intelligent person to understand. And yet, when I look at AI and I see where things are going, and I look at the current job environment, we are screwed. You know, people talk about AI, about how it's going to be a problem because it's going to be able to set off nuclear bombs, or that it's going to take over because it's going to need so much power and it's going to be smarter than the average human being and it's going to come up with new ways to power itself. If you've watched this show, if you've listened to me, then you've heard the experts that I've had on talk about this, and you've heard me have concerns about it. But I witnessed something yesterday, actually I should say over the weekend, that has me startled to a whole new level. Playing around on my computer, there was an advertisement that came up. And this advertisement was for, you know, become a rock star, make your own music, AI. So I'm like, all right, let me check it out. So I go in and I see this thing and it costs a couple of bucks. I said, you know what? I'll try it because I want to know what's going on here. I had no ideas for a song. So I did what I always do. I was like, okay, what's in the news? And I had done a couple of days earlier, I did a thing on my balcony during my morning videos about a story where Bayer, the drug company Bayer, had bought Monsanto and in the process now owns Roundup, the weed killer. And so that Roundup has a chemical called glyphosate. And many experts and studies show that glyphosate causes cancer. And so in the United States, there have been 65,000 lawsuits from individuals who claim that Roundup has given them cancer. And so of those 65,000 lawsuits, the total payout, I think, or at least for a portion of them anyway, has been approximately $10 billion. Well, Bayer doesn't want to do this. They don't want to pay out those funds. So now what they're negotiating is to put together a sort of slush fund of $7.25 billion. So this way, for the next 21 years, this covers 21 years. For the next 21 years, anybody who comes down with cancer and has a claim would have to prove that that basically came from Roundup. And if they can prove that, they could get to pull their share of the $7.25 billion. Now, you may say, oh my God, that's a lot of money. Why don't they just pull the thing from the shelves? Well, Bayer doesn't want to pull it from the shelves because over that 21-year period of time, they'll bring anywhere in between $50 to $60 billion because right now, Roundup in the United States does $2.8 billion in business. So it is a profit center. Even if it's giving people cancer, the cost of claims is nothing but a marketing expense. It's less than 15% of what those total sales would be. I'm reading this and I'm doing my balcony about it, and it is infuriating me that our country is allowing this to happen and that people, farmers, they're dying. So I said, let me write a song, and I'm a pretty good poet. I said, let me write a song about Jack, the farmer who dies from this weed killer. I write a whole song. It takes me, believe it or not, 10 minutes. Now, I could have used AI to create that song, by the way, but I create the song. And I put it in and I say, I want to have a country theme, and I want it to have a little bit of a, like a rock guitar. I literally put in the lyrics. I say I want country. I hit go. And then within, no joke, 2 minutes time, I have a country song, full length, 5 minutes long, that you would have sworn was made in a studio, and that would be good enough to win a Grammy. So now I take it to the next level. I say, let me make a video for the music. Let me make my music video. Well, how am I going to do this? So what I did is I took different pictures of myself over the course of time. I took a small little snapshot of a video I had done for America the Beautiful going about, 9 years ago. I took another snapshot from when I was on the Kelly File 12 years ago. And the reason why I took those two is because on the America the Beautiful, I had gained weight. And then, the other one, I was younger looking. I took a snapshot of a picture that Mary and I took last year in our house. And then I took another shot from this podcast when I had glasses on. And in each one of those, I took those in and I said, make me the character, make me the farmer, make me the corporate guy, make me the farmer who loses his wife, and make me a music video. And within 3 minutes, this thing spits out. And I'm like, oh my God, there's not going to be a job left. Just in a matter of what? An hour total playing with this thing, I eliminated the need for anybody to write a song, anybody to record a song. I didn't have to pay for a recording artist or a band. I didn't have to do tracks, post-production, none of that. I didn't have to make a crew come together to make a video for a music video. I didn't have to pay actors. I didn't have to locate scenes because the farm and everything is if I shot it. And then on top of that, each one of these actors looks like me in a different capacity. Every job in the United States of America is at complete and utter risk. And we got politicians who are pushing for this. Here is just the first minute and a half of the video that I created using 100% AI. Play it.
Jack was a farmer, hard-working guy. Woke up feeling bad, couldn't guess why. Something wasn't right, blood was colder. Pushed it off thinking, I'm just getting older. But when he fell, when it all went black, when he was down flat on his back, he felt his fair time to depart. shackled his heart. They take men like Jack, they poison his veins. They care not the cost, they care not the pains. They take men like Jack, they poison his life. He loses his farm, he widows his wife. For the profits are big, the rules are great. So a man loses life, the suits look away.
Folks, it is absolutely crazy. It is crazy that we're allowing this to happen, that it's going unregulated. It's starting with the writers and the creatives and the technology people. Then next, you'll wind up seeing lawyers and salespeople and customer service people, all of them erased. We will not need any of these people. And then it will start to go into the blue collar jobs. Once robots become mainstream, and believe me, they will be very soon. Once they become mainstream, these are the people who are going to hang the windows, paint the walls, nail in the roofs, put in the wood floors, mow the lawns. We are literally exterminating ourselves. There will be no economy. There will be no jobs. There will be no reason to get up in the morning other than just to walk around. And why nobody else seems to see this in Washington, D.C., including our own president, is completely baffling to me. There are going to be two issues in 2028, two issues that everybody's going to care about. The infiltration of Islam, as I already showed you earlier in the show, and AI. But yet, the crazy left, they're more focused on who's going to be playing football in Chicago. And it goes back. Why would the Chicago Bears want to stay in Chicago? It is a crap hole. It is horrendous. Here is the absolutely clueless African-American mayor who can't find his ass with both hands, saying about how the Chicago Bears should just stay in the crime-ridden, can't have a dime. They don't have a dime to spend in Chicago. They are freaking, the whole state is underwater, and they think that the Chicago Bears deserve to stay. Here is the crazy left.
The Bears belong in the city of Chicago. The Chicago Bears belong in the city of Chicago, right? And I've said repeatedly that the door is always open for conversations, and, Kevin Warren did call me yesterday. We didn't get a chance to connect, and I still firmly believe that their best position is in Chicago, and it's evidence. The evidence is clearly speaking for itself. Is my face straight? Okay. All right. I keep a straight face here.
All right. That's it for me. I appreciate you being with me. It's good to be back. We will be with you again tomorrow, God willing. So on behalf of everybody here that makes the show go tick-tock, tick-tock, even though we're not on TikTok, may God bless you, our troops, and these United States. And just remember one thing as we go through. Most days we'll have the show. Some days it's just the monologue. Every single morning we try to get you a balcony shot. So if you're listening only on Spotify or on one of the other platforms, we indicate show, monologue, a short. But we have a lot of content coming your way. And if you want to get all of it, I ask you, please go to TeamDML.com for just $20 a year. You could get a membership, and that membership gives you all of our content. Can't guarantee it's always going to be here on the social media platforms. Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. But to help us keep going, TeamDML.com, $20. Whole year membership. Thanks so much. Until next time, stay well.
Get the Dennis Michael Lynch podcast every day by subscribing on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Dennis Michael Lynch podcast every day by subscribing on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and download the DML News App from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store for breaking news, merchandise, films, exclusive content, and TeamDML. Get the Dennis Michael Lynch podcast every day by subscribing